The only way Bitcoin breaks 15,700-ish, the lows, is if we see the stock market go back to the October 2022 lows or lower. Then I actually think it can. Otherwise, I think Bitcoin probably holds up relatively well. So again, interesting stuff in the markets, guys. Again, the big things, again, keep an eye on the altcoins. Bitcoin has support at 25,000, not far away at this point.
Pro trader Gareth Soloway delves into comprehensive chart analysis of both Bitcoin and altcoins, advising keen observation particularly on altcoins. Over the last few days, the crypto market has witnessed a massive downfall. While fear among investors was dominant in the market, a few of the altcoins' metrics turned bullish, suggesting a possible bull rally. Bitcoin was trading flat as it dropped slightly but managed to hold above $26,000 levels. History suggests that the current Bitcoin correction could be the final fakeout to the downside before the crypto king explodes on a new macro bull run, according to an analyst. Soloway's assertion is that Bitcoin's value is projected to decline below approximately $15,700, which matches its previous lows, but only if the stock market mirrors this drop and descends to levels akin to those observed in October 2022 or even lower. Conversely, under all other circumstances, Soloway maintains the view that Bitcoin's resilience will remain intact, allowing it to sustain its value reasonably well. U.S. stocks traded down Thursday, marking the third straight day of losses for the major averages. The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped 290.91 points, or 0.84%. The S&P 500 fell 0.77%, while the Nasdaq Composite declined 1.17%. Consequently, the dollar index has surged to critical resistance levels near 103.50. This particular level holds key significance for the dollar index, as surpassing and moving beyond 103.50 would potentially initiate a substantial upward movement. This trajectory could return the index to levels observed before the Silicon Valley Bank collapse. During the interview, Soloway highlighted that if the dollar maintains its upward momentum and surpasses the immediate resistance, it could signify a change in investor sentiment. This shift might involve investors retracting from foreign markets such as Japan, which are dealing with complex yield curve control mechanisms. Let's direct our attention towards the video.
Bitcoin, again, guys, is very simple here. So Bitcoin, again, has broken the level I said it was likely going to break. We talked about this. You guys, it's been no surprise that when we were at 31,000, I was skeptical we were going to break out, unlike pretty much everyone else out there. But now we've fallen back down. Now the question is, here's your next support level, right? So looking at supports, we have a very clear $25,000 support, very clear 20,000 support, and if we break that, eventually you go back to the lows. The only way, and I've said this now, and this has become my thesis, is the only way Bitcoin breaks 15,700-ish, the lows, is if we see the stock market go back to the October 2022 lows or lower. Then I actually think it can. Otherwise, I think Bitcoin probably holds up relatively well. My big concern, though, is that I actually do believe the stock market is going lower significantly, as I think this narrative that it's going to be a perfect landing and everything is going to be great and we're going to all sing kumbaya, I just don't buy it. Again, history shows us that when the yield curve uninverts is when we get the recession. We haven't uninverted yet. So there's still a lot of things. We also know that there's a delay in interest rate policy of 6 to 12 months. So we're only, based on what the market's reacting to, we're at like 2.5% on the Fed funds rate versus 5.25 to 5.5. So there's some big differences there. All right. Next up, I want to go to a couple of the charts here. I want to quickly look at the dollar. The dollar is into technical resistance here. Take a look at this chart right here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. This is a big level on the dollar. Okay, you have a very clear pivot point here, right? Trend line, trend line. Not sure what happened there, but that's okay. We'll bring it over here, bring that back. So again, we're looking at, basically we have a level here and a level here. All right, so we're right up against resistance on the US dollar. Now, the best thing for markets in the near term is the dollar to pull back. That should help asset prices. All right, if it doesn't and you break above, short term, that could be a negative. It could also insinuate that we're seeing people flee foreign markets like Japan, which we know the yield curve control issues there, the dollar yen, China is a mess, obviously. Europe's not doing so great. It would tell us that, again, if we break up, that the U.S. is really still the game in town in terms of the dollar. So watch for that. We're right at a pivotal level. Now, I want to point something out. The yield is at a pivotal level. The dollar is at a pivotal level. All right, these are major things. In fact, gold's at a pivotal level too. Think about what we're coming into this week. Jackson Hole on Friday at 10:05 a.m. Eastern Time, a Jerome Powell major speech. Now, this speech is important because it's going to guide the markets whether Jerome Powell is going to hike in the next couple meetings or he's going to be on the sidelines. And that's why this speech is so important because remember, we got the minutes last week. They were very, very hawkish. So he's going to get a chance to guide us to what the rates will do. That will affect the dollar, that'll affect yields, that'll affect gold, silver, the stock market, maybe even crypto a little bit. So keep that on your radar.
Soloway suggests that Litecoin could experience a modest rebound, potentially reaching around $70 or even slightly higher. He speculates that there's a chance it might even recover to around $80. According to CoinMarketCap, the altcoin was up by more than 4% in the last 24 hours, which was remarkable considering the current market condition. Polygon has seen some fluctuations in its price over the last 24 hours. The cryptocurrency is currently priced at $0.571, while U.S. gold futures were flat at $1,923.50. Following a week of back-to-back declines, gold on Monday settled 0.3% higher, reporting its best day in more than 2 weeks. Soloway noted that a rally in gold has already commenced. He anticipates further upward movement for gold, with the potential for it to eventually reach and surpass the all-time high.
Here's a chart of Litecoin. All right, so I'm in Litecoin. I want to show you a trend line here that's pretty remarkable. All right, if we zoom out on Litecoin here, what we can see is that, bear with me as I go to the weekly chart, all right, we can see that we basically have a pivot point here to here, and I think I can see this better on the daily chart. I'm trying to remember exactly what I was looking at, but if we zoom out here, there we go. If we take this low and we connect it to this low here, so the lowest point to the lowest point, look at what it gives us on Litecoin. Look at that, right to that point. So again, to me, Litecoin gets interesting in this range. All right, it's already started to bounce a little bit. I think it heads back towards this level right here. $70, maybe a little bit higher. I think maybe it even gets back to 80, but somewhere in that vicinity, I think it's likely going to be headed back to. Okay, so that's again just something to keep an eye on. Now, a couple other of these charts, let's erase that line, and let's go to a couple of the other altcoins. If we look at Matic, all right, so Matic is in trouble as well, but same kind of deal. Look at this low to this low, and look at where we are on Matic. We're right above this level here. So, by the way, do I think the bottom is in on altcoins? No. Altcoins are going to go lower. But do I think there's a swing trade bounce in this vicinity? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there is. Again, the way I trade, I start small, so I can add if it goes lower until we get that bounce. And again, that has worked very, very well. I think 96% success rate in verified investing crypto at verifiedinvesting.com. All right, next up, I want to quickly go to gold here, guys. So let's touch base on gold real quickly and see what we have on that front. Gold is at a very pivotal level. And again, I say that because it has now retraced. We can see the trend line, right? So from that high there to here, we broke out, we hit it here, and we hit it here. My guess is, and you're already starting to rally on gold, I think gold is going to end up coming up, hitting here, eventually breaking even out to the upside, the all-time highs. So again, interesting stuff in the markets, guys. Again, the big things, again, we talked about, obviously, NVIDIA being the big factor this week. We know that Jackson Hole is. But also keep an eye on gold. Keep an eye on the altcoins. Bitcoin has support at 25,000, not far away at this point. And also Jackson Hole, as I mentioned, Jerome Powell.
Even in light of the recent market volatility and predating the significant decline witnessed last week, Bitcoin has managed to maintain a year-to-date gain of around 57% in 2023. The expectation is that Bitcoin's valuation could potentially drop below the threshold of roughly $15,700 if stock market follows Lowe's history. Past trends imply that the ongoing correction in Bitcoin might be the last deceptive downward movement before the cryptocurrency experiences a substantial surge in a fresh macro bullish trend. That wraps up our conversation for today. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you found this information valuable, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel to stay informed with the latest news and videos. Thanks for joining us.